How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning, good morning. Welcome everybody. How we doing? Oh, whoa, early stream. Yeah, a little bit of an early stream today. Earlier start today because it's going to be a long day for me. What a special guest. Have you worked out who the special guest is yet? Have you figured it out? I'll introduce you to the special guest later. Haddock, good morning to you. Welcome, welcome. Bonsai, how we doing? Good to see you. Yeah, starting a little bit early today. I missed out playing on NA almost entirely yesterday. So today we are going to focus 100% on the NA realm because I'm itching to play over there and make some gold. It's really weird, right? This sounds odd, especially coming from my mouth. But it sounds really odd that I'm actually kind of looking forward to going and doing some farming, gathering some materials, playing around with the lower level markets, putting some TSM groups together. See, it's the journey I've finally understood. It's the journey of making the gold that I enjoy more than actually making it. And so this whole starting fresh I've been itching to do this. Now I've said from the start that we will only do this on stream. We'll keep this NA series as a stream only adventure, and so it's basically then it's like 100% tracked. How was reset day for you? Mine was record breaking. Mine was record-breaking in terms of the fact it was record-breakingly bad, but after the stream yesterday, I pretty much turned off World of Warcraft and didn't log on again. So there was no auction house PvP on a reset day for me. So yeah, I made like, I don't know, 2 mil maybe. Certainly not anywhere even remotely close to what I'd have liked to, but mine was exceedingly good. Well, that's very positive to hear. I'm glad somebody had some success yesterday. I probably would have done if I put any effort into it, but I was cancel scanning for 2 to 3 hours yesterday, sold like 4 items. Oh dear, oh dear. At least the way that it appeared to me though, was that there was not anywhere near the same influx of Corthite crystals as there was the week before. I think now Corthite crystals are 300, 400, 500 gold a piece. People are way less inclined to go out and farm them. They're not bothering to do Shaping Fate on their alts unless they have another really good reason to be doing it. So, was a slow day even for enchants. Now you see, if enchants aren't selling like hotcakes, then you know something's wrong. Then you know that people are just not getting new gear. And if people are not getting new gear on reset day, something's a bit iffy. Sold about 3 mil, wasn't able to relist from 8 till 11 though due to raid, but I'll take it. See, that's not bad. Usually I tend to find that I get a spike of sales by using your timings. I'd tend to find that there's a spike on sales at about 7 and then again at about 12. Kind of before people go to their raid and when everybody leaves their raid, there's always a big spike in sales. There's that few hours in the middle when people are raiding, where I imagine consumables probably sell very well because, you know, people, oops, I forgot my potions, or oops, I've run out of flasks. Anybody got a long boy, kind of, you know? That's the kind of stuff that's going to sell during the raid hours. But before and after is where you're going to sell the gear, I would expect. Long boy, anybody? Yeah, anybody with a long boy? Feels like there's just significantly less people playing than usual. That's probably because there is. It's probably because there is. Got 11 Corthite crystals on my main. See, if you can get 11 on your main in a one play session, but 11 multiply that by, I mean, that's like 5k. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that's 5,000 gold then. People probably aren't going to go too far out of their way to go get 5,000 gold. Last week, when it was 15,000 gold, people might have done it, yeah. fairly certain it's my long boy that gets me my raid spot. So that's it, right? Every time somebody's like, ah, shit, I forgot feasts. Anybody got a long boy? Long boy, anybody? Had 6 sub 10% wipes on Remnant, but it won't die. Oh dear. Well, you'll get it. You'll get it. So, sub 10%. You've got that. Maybe you just needed a night to say, right, reset. Go back at it today and slap it. You'll one-shot it today. You'll one-shot it today. Yeah, mailbox anybody. Yeah, that's actually the thing, isn't it? It's not just the long boy. Anybody got a KT? Can I see a KT? KT stamp whistle? Anywhere? Yeah, I imagine that's a thing. But I wanted to get back into the NA. We are level 40. We're going to probably do a combination of things today. We're probably going to do a few levels of actual leveling. I mean, it would be nice to get to 48 so that we can get into Shadowlands, but I don't think I want to push to 48 in one sitting. As that feasibly would take me a few hours, probably, at my pace. So we're going to continue our little world tour of farming. Get a few things relisted. I would imagine, I didn't even check the auction house sales yesterday. If you remember for those that were here on Tuesday, I want to say Tuesday, we crafted a bunch of things like Titan steel bars. It would be interesting to see if any of those sold. Okay, we didn't sell our Titan steel bars, but we did sell a bunch of our Saronite, which is a step in the right direction. Let's grab all of that out there then. .1.5, we've added a mailbox next to the raid entrance. People just need to go back to Legion and do the mail quest. Or, if you're in a really smart guild, if you're in a really sensible guild, you might even have all of the consumables ready and waiting in the guild bank. Then somebody just needs to put down a chest. But if we take a look at let's take a quick look at where we see this is good, right? This is the direction we want our graph to be going in. How about put a damn flight path to the raid? No, you got to run through herds of ads. Yeah, I suppose. Just follow the tank. He won't get stunned. He'll survive. So we're going in the right direction. Upwards is good. Upwards is good. We're now at the dizzy heights of 25,000 gold on this realm. We've got an inventory of nearly 100k in inventory value. That's based on the market price. Now that's taking into consideration that okay, take a few of these transmoggy things off there. We're looking at about 50k of actual inventory, 25k in liquid. We're getting places. Let's get a few things listed. I'm hoping we can go to Outlands today. We tried to go to Outlands the other day and it was buggy and laggy and just terrible. Let's see what we can do here. 1.5 million in sales on my low population. Only, well, 17,000 plus. I suppose if that's characters. Yeah, if that's characters. It's a different story when you actually take into consideration how many active players that might be. But 1.5 mil on that realm's pretty good going. I only did 1.5 mil on Torin Mill yesterday. But in fairness, I did that in like 3 hours, so it wasn't a bad gold per hour ratio. I should probably keep my eyes open for anything that looks just wrong when it comes to these prices. Check we're not getting stiffed anywhere. Hey man, how's your neck? How do you think? How do you think? Yes. Say hello to the special guest. Yes. To address the elephant in the room, or well, I suppose more accurately, to address the flamingo in the room. This dude is one of those, you know, it's the bags of beans that you put in the microwave and it gets hot. So if I look slightly flushed, and you're wondering who the special guest is, the special guest is here to make sure that my head doesn't fall off. Well, you look fucked up. Thanks, man. Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. Have I tried ice pack? Well, I'm going the other route. Instead of ice pack, I'm going hot pack. You look fucked for 23? I wish I was 23. Right, there's everything listed though. Everything's back up on the auction house. How much did we actually have in auction house value though? That's I'm also planning today. I might be really cheeky. There's a good chance that by the time I finish the stream today, I'll just be ready to die. And so I'll go back to bed for a few hours. But I might be really cheeky today and actually try and record my YouTube video live on stream. See how that works. We'll see. There's actually 2 videos. I mean, because of my neck playing up yesterday, I didn't record a video. So I'm playing catch up a little bit. 40k in auction value listed so far. If we sell only 10% of that, if we sell 10% of our auction value a day, I'm kind of happy. You can never expect to sell everything, even when it's like materials, especially like past expansion materials. This sort of stuff is you'll sell it in usually quite a large quantity, but all in one go kind of thing. Somebody will come along and they'll just clean out the market. You sure you're supposed to heat it up? My physio claims that it differs. Like Haddock said, sometimes it's better to go for ice. Well, if this doesn't help in any way, we'll go the other route. I tend to go the heating things up route rather than cooling things down route. You know, like taking a hot shower often helps with muscle pain. Ice tends to be to reduce swelling, if I understand right. If you're trying to reduce the swelling of something, then ice is good. It's why athletes take ice baths. But if you're trying to relax a tense muscle, which is what this is, heat often works better. Go see somebody before we lose you. My wife has booked me in for a massage, actually. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Play some World of Warcraft, not think about it for a few hours. Hot tub ice bath stream incoming? No. No. I'd get banned. The hot tub is only for the AFK screen. The only time you're going to see a hot tub. This is the only time you're going to see Mantheus in a hot tub. Outside of this, you're not going to see Mantheus in a hot tub. Right, let's give Outlands a go then. Fell Iron. What's Outlands ore? There's actually some really cool ore to go, and OnlyFans when? Well, what did you hear? The good news. I mean, not that I'm subscribed to anybody on OnlyFans, but The good news being that OnlyFans has decided to revert its porn ban, so the adult industry can relax. Where is the portal to Shatrath? Oh, it's downstairs. There's a downstairs, isn't it? Sorry, this Mantheus does not own a long boy. No. Yeah, they decided they wanted to make money again, yeah. Yeah, I'm not the best at business, but I know that maybe banning the one thing your business is known for is probably not the most sensible thing, but backpedaling faster than Blizzard on that one. Looks like the flamingo's legs are on your shoulder. Well, they are. Where are they? He's sat on my shoulder right now. It was all a media attention stunt. Are we putting that hat on? Are we? Do you think they did it just for, you know, any news is good news? Is that what we're saying? No, I can wouldn't put it past them. I'd say it's a relatively safe assumption that the banks were like, yeah, we're not gonna have dealings with you if you're just selling adult related content. Devin Nash did a really good video highlighting kind of exactly why OnlyFans was potentially going to be banning porn. Doing what most good journalists should. Not that he's a journalist, but I mean he's in the market analysis industry, I guess you could say. Devin Nash did a really good video just basically highlighting the fact that just follow the money. If you ever don't understand something, follow the money. And with something like OnlyFans, it was very obvious when you follow the money that, well, OnlyFans makes their money, you know, with adult content. Banks tend not to like adult content because it tends to cause a lot of problems. You know, when that credit card statement comes in and the wife looks at it and like, what are these OnlyFans subscriptions on the credit card? Oh, that's must have been hacked. Let me call the bank and cancel that one. All of that shenanigans is why the banks tend not to like the adult industry or doing transactions for the adult industry, because the transactions are considerably more risky. Actually, before I get too far into this, have we picked up Outlands Herbalism and Mining? Because otherwise, I won't be getting any points, will I? Outland Herbalism, we do. One of 175. Mining. Outland Mining, here we go. 2 of 75. Good. I don't understand how there can be any doubt about that. Banning corn is literally shutting down their company. Yeah, they were harvesting corn pretty hard. Yeah, when the lion's share of your company is based on one market, it's probably sensible to, you know, not delete that market. Just a guess though. See, now why is Mountain Silver Sage not giving me any outlandy? I'm in Outlands and I'm picking up herbs and I'm not getting points for doing it. What is this shenanigans? OF? Oh, my olive fermenting hobbit. Yes. Does OnlyFans come with discreet invoicing? It's like when you go buy sex toys off Amazon and it comes in discreet packaging. Do I get discrete credit card statements, please? Credit card statement comes wrapped in like a dildo envelope or something. Wow, how did we get so far off topic so quickly this morning? Who started this business? Those discrete packaging pictures are pretty funny. Yeah, I like when instead of like putting it in a box with just like your address on it, they like tightly wrap it so so it's still 100% obvious what's actually in the package. It's quite funny. I missed the part of the stream. Why do you have a pair of legs on your shoulder? It's one of those like heat packs. I've bust my neck, so it's keeping my neck warm. Yeah, one of those microwave beanbaggy jobs, yeah. With it being a pink flamingo, I think it's relatively safe to assume it's my wife's. But it does the job, so... What is this? When a business claims discreet packaging? yeah, just like that. Yeah, exactly like that. Either that or it's a dog toy. Well, true. My dog toys don't tend to stay full of anything for very long. My dogs tend to do surgery on the toys, as we call it. They tend to well, one of my dogs finds the you know the squeakers you get in dog toys. She hunts down the squeaker and then doesn't care about the toy. Once she's found where the squeaker is and dissected the squeaker from the toy, she's done. And then my other dog just rips them apart. So dog toys don't tend to stay in one piece for very long in my house. Flamingo equals swingers? Well, I'm not putting my keys in a hat, if that's what you mean. Or do you mean swingers as in, like, you know, people that like to swing from a rope on a tree? Is that's what you meant, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go, that's what you meant. I get it now. All makes sense, yeah. There's a lot more fell iron ore out here than there usually is. I think farming at what is currently 3 AM realm time. Good time to do some farming. 0 in the competition department. Always finding body parts of toys around the house from the dog. Yeah, just a random limb. Just I always find that they get left on the stairs. That's the worst thing. They get left on the stairs and you don't see them, and then you slip on them and almost die. It can't be coincidence that half the dog toys always end up on the stairs. Surely the dogs will learn that if they kill off the humans, then who's going to take them for walks? Who's going to feed them? Go away, vulture. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't turn loot appraiser on, did I? Oops. Well, now it's on. Oh, considering it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we should probably go check if, what's his name, the big dude is up. He drops some pretty cool transmog. Or can drop some pretty cool transmog. He's now so heavily farmed that most of it's worth nothing, but... Also doesn't help that it's the #1 Primal Fire farming spot, so... What's his name? Doom Lord Kazakh or something? What's his name? I can't remember. Who are you? Get off my herb. One thing I think we might actually have to do on the NA realms is be a little bit careful with what we decide to actually craft and try and sell. Simply because of the time difference, right? It's technically, it's 10:38 AM for me. It's nearly 11 o'clock in the morning, but it's only 3 AM realm time. So because of that really drastic time difference, if we want to do like any competitive auction house PvP, it's going to be either really awkward hours, or we're just going to have to craft and post stuff that we know is not going to be overly competitive. We might have to focus on different stuff than what we usually do. Zerging straight to legendaries may not be the best solution for us, really. Because the peak hours when the legendaries are going to sell, I'm going to find it very difficult to play at those hours. Curious what add-ons you use? Not a huge amount, really. I mean, Elv UI is the basic UI interface. We're using Loot Appraiser here just to help track some of the materials that we pick up. We use Gathermate and Roots to help with the farming of materials. What else are we using? Zygor is the one we use for leveling. You can find a link to Zygor. You do !Zygor in chat. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of add-ons we use. I tend to try and keep my add-on use minimal. It helps with load times. It also prevents, you know, errors. The more add-ons you have, the greater the chance there is of one of them colliding with another one and you getting errors and silly stuff happening. So, when I watch VODs of your stream later, does it count as watching live for your Twitch? Not really. But like the YouTube and Twitch is a different game. YouTube, it's all about views, it's all about watch time, that sort of stuff. Twitch, it's not about any of that. Yeah, sure, I play ads occasionally on Twitch, but the only reason I play ads on Twitch is not to generate any revenue from it. It's to prevent people from seeing an ad when they join the stream. So don't worry. If you watch the VODs, if you watch live, it's obviously I'd prefer to see you watch live, and I think most people enjoy watching live because, you know, the interactivity of it. I meant Twitch clips, not YouTube. I don't really know what you mean. Don't worry yourself too much about helping me. You know, if you enjoy it, you watch it. If you don't, that's your choice. You can watch the VODs on Twitch. They tend to the VODs, because I'm only an affiliate with Twitch. The VODs stay up on Twitch for a few days, but then they disappear. This is partly the reason why I upload them all to YouTube. The advantage of watching the VOD on Twitch is obviously that you get the chat with it as well, though. So. Much better than nothing lasts forever. Starting my army enlistment September 1st. Oh, okay, that sounds, that could be fun. See, being British, we never had sort of any sort of mandatory army. And oh, Doom speakers up. Move this round a little bit. Where is he then? Oh, he's literally here. Phew! What do we get? Legion Coif of the Quickblade. 2100 gold. I mean, it's better than a kick in the face. Oh, we forgot to check if Big Dude was up. Oh well, we'll get him on the next lap. Yeah, there's no sort of mandatory military service for us Brits. But from everybody that I've spoke to that has done it, they said it's they probably didn't like it so much at the time, but they definitely see the benefit of doing it. So part of my master plan to buy an apartment. Oh, okay. It's good that you've got a plan. Plans are good. It's not the mandatory. I enlisted as pro soldier after the pandemic hit. Oh, well, more honour to you. Well done, good sir. Best way to get a credit history? I suppose. Best way to get a credit history is to borrow money and then pay it back. It's if you borrow money and don't pay it back. That's when problems start. Off to the bank again. Good luck on the NA. Hey, good luck in the bank. Hope you find yourself a bank manager that's not a dick. Can you get max enchanting on a level 51? Yes, you can. Yeah, most of my bank characters are most of them are actually like 48, 49. Just enough to hang on. This was not a sensible move. Yeah, most of my bank characters are my also enchanters who yeah, they have will you go away? What's the point of feigned death if you keep trying to swat me? Whew, okay. Yeah, you can pick up Shadowlands professions and max it out with very little trouble nowadays. Banks like soldiers, policemen, firefighters, etc. over here. Yes, that is true. That is true. They, I mean, that's true to say most places. If you're doing something that is seen to be very admirable, banks will give you not. I mean, I don't want to use the word special privileges because that sounds wrong, but they will. You pat them on the back, they'll pat you on the back, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So far, this is actually turning out to be a pretty profitable route. I didn't realise fell iron ore was going to be quite as lucrative as it appears. Oh, we did find that one, you know, quote unquote BOE though, didn't we? So that's actually inflating our price a little bit more. I was thinking if we did 5k in like less than 10 minutes, that's not bad at all. But which way are we going? We're going this way. It's easier to get a loan when you're in service than it is if you're a small business owner. Small business owners are literally one of the biggest risks for banks when it comes to lending them money. Because if you're a small business owner, it's usually you're usually a small business owner because you don't own a big business. Which means you're probably very inexperienced in whatever it is you're doing. So you're actually in the high risk category for being given loans. But it's usually considered that like service people are pretty safe bets, because if you're working within any of the services, you're likely to be pretty dedicated to what it is you're doing. You also tend to be so busy that you don't really have that much time to spend your money, meaning you usually have a fair amount of it. It's kind of the downside of, you know, you have some money. It may not be the best paying job by any stretch of the imagination, but when you never have any time to spend it, then you usually do all right. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest. I have no idea how the Polish economy works, but if the patterns are the same, why did I get stunned? If the patterns are the same as most places, then service people tend to be pretty good at getting loans. But I think you already knew that, so I can see the thumbnail now, 5k in 20 minutes. I just can't do those YouTube videos. It makes me feel ill. To even think about doing one of those, it just makes me feel ill. But I do need to start putting out some content on the YouTube channel for more entry-level beginner gold makers. Because the more and more, that's terrible grammar. The more I try and work on new videos and new interesting videos, I guess you could say the higher tier the gold making content is, which sure is great if you've already got 10 million gold, but I should probably put more time and effort into helping people get their first million, which is kind of the reason I wanted to do this NA series, in terms of the fact that, if nothing else, it retrains me on how to make that first million gold, because I've not really done it for a long time. Because when you have a bunch of gold and you understand that gold can make you more gold, you tend to never really be poor again. Best expansion to build up gold with is Mr. Pandaria. Mr. Pandaria is pretty good, yeah. There's lots of opportunities in MOP. It was a good profession for engineers, that's for sure. And because it was a good profession, good expansion for engineers, and good expansion for mounts, it means a lot of the materials are still considered valuable, purely because of that. If a material goes into making a mount, it will forever and a day be valuable, because people will always want to be able to craft that mount and then sell that mount. So flipped my first raid BOE last night instead of farming them. There's a clickbait 200k profit over a week of constant cancel scanning. Raid BOEs are Lazy Goldmaker did a good video on this not so long ago, talking about how raid BOEs used to be. They're not anymore, unfortunately, but they used to be like the top tier gold making method. Actual top tier. But since they removed like the random RNG-ness of BOEs, there's still gold to be made in it, sure, because anybody that gets a BOE in a raid is likely to not understand the value of it. But the second they go to the auction house, because there's not really any variations of the items, there's a very, very good chance that BOE is already being listed on the auction house by somebody else, which will in turn determine the value of it to that player. So it's much, much harder to... for starters, it's more difficult for somebody to even misprice their items, because they're getting a really good guidance of what they should be listing it for based on what other people have listed it for. This is why in the past, when there was variations in the items, people would have to, you know, to some degree, guess what the item was worth. And goblins were taking advantage of people guessing incorrectly. I watched it after your recommendation of his channel. Yeah, Lazy puts together some very informative videos. He's only been chipping away at the YouTube side of things for a short while. He's obviously most known for his blog, Lazy Gold. Is it the Lazy Goldmaker or Lazy Goldmaker? I can't remember, but lazygoldmaker.com or something like that. His blog is where he's obviously most known from. And a lot of people nowadays either have used or still use his TSM profiles, which I can't lie. I would imagine his TSM profile is probably fuller, I guess is a sensible way to describe it, than mine. Mine only focuses currently on Shadowlands professions. But I would also hedge a bet that it's maybe not as organised as mine, but I don't know. Little Uve, how we doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Lazy's video on WoW gold making history was really good. I expected him to have always been making gold, but he's taken plenty of breaks. Yeah, most people do. Most people do. It's also healthy too, right? I mean, while I have, for the most part, played this game somewhat consistently, basically since TBC. Ooh, another rare. This is why you play at 3 o'clock in the morning. You get to kill all of the rares. Whoa! Whoa, hang about. That thing's worth bank. That's actually one of the good ones. Demon Cured Tunic of the Fire Flash. Forget the of the fire flash bit. We don't care about that. But region sale average is 7k. What does this thing even look like? I can't see because I've got my stupid tabard on. Oh, that is actually quite cool. Yeah, I can see why that sells. I can see why that sells. That's a good one then. We might actually now trying to sell it for 40k is probably we'll probably do a deep undercut on that one, but it's safe to say that's money in the bank. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but at some point we'll sell that for a few thousand gold. New NA strategy, play when everybody else is asleep. Well, if you're going out hunting rares, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, local time. Sorry, realm time. While we're on this side of the map, I will just quickly go check the Throne of Kil'jaeden, just in case. Just in case. Would you recommend taking blacksmithing for Shadowghast ingots or Jewelcrafting for prospecting? On a bank haul, on a bank haul, you'll probably... It depends where you plan to do your banking, to a degree as well. Unless, of course, you're a mechanome. But blacksmithing, you're going to have the complication that you're going to need to be standing next to an anvil to make your Shadowghast ingots. I don't really see there being much value in Jewelcrafting on a bank haul. I mean, sure, you can prospect lay strike all day long, but my go-to for bank hauls is engineering and enchanting. Engineering so that I can use the engineering auction houses. So, for example, if you're playing Alliance, you've got the Shrine in Missa Pandaria, where you need to be an enchanter. Sorry, my brain is not working. You need to be an engineer to use the auction house there. But out of the two, I mean, you'll probably get more use out of blacksmithing for crafting Shadowghast ingots, because one thing I tend to find with legendaries is I am always making Shadowghast ingots. Like, literally always making the damn things. Having it passively being made while you're doing other things is definitely a bonus. Oh, I've just realised we're 99.39%. We're about to ding 41. Not surprised your brain's not working. It's 4 AM. Yeah, we'll use that excuse. We'll go with that one. Is there an engineering bank in the Horde Shrine of Missa Pandaria as well? There is, yes, but Horde tend to hang out in Booty Bay for the one reason that you can stand in Booty Bay and hit the bank, the guild bank, the mailbox and the auctioneer without moving. In the Shrine, you have to do some moving. And that moving is... it sounds like such a, well, I'll just take 3 steps to my left. But you got to remember, if you move, you stop crafting. So if you're making your shadow ghast ingots, or you're making your enchanted materials, you want to park yourself somewhere where you can hit a mailbox and hit the auction house, and preferably hit a bank without actually moving. That means you can constantly be crafting whilst also doing auction housey stuff. The real auction house meta. You get more experience out of mining ghost iron ore. Unfortunately, I won't. The reason I won't is because this is the very first character. I don't have access to chromie time, so I am forced to level through BFA. So, unfortunately for me, on this character at least, I won't. But yes, you are right. I could, in theory, gain more experience. It's just node density that is the biggest bonus to you. That's why Ghost Iron Ore is quite a good one for leveling, because you're just constantly picking up Ghost Iron Ore, and every time you hit a new node, it's like more experience, more experience, more experience. It's actually competitive to just questing if you can do it in a good route. Booty Bay is getting busier lately. Even saw Samadan there, and we're not even on the same realm. Well, it's an open world one, so it's probably sharded across many different realms. And the sharding in the game is pretty dynamic nowadays, so if there's not that many people playing, there'll be less shards of each zone. So it's designed to, you know, give the illusion of the world always being full, kind of regardless on what realm you're playing on, even though in reality it doesn't really work. But not a fan of Booty Bay. The auctioneer gets killed constantly. He does. That is the downside. That is the downside for sure. But if he gets killed, well, there you go. Take a 10-minute break from auction house PvP. Sometimes you need it. Right, we've done a lap over here. I'm feeling that we should probably mix it up a little bit with the zones that we do, especially with Fell Iron, because the respawn rate on Fell Iron is pretty terrible. There's a strong chance we will run out of nodes pretty soon. I'm thinking we should maybe, now that we've done a lap over here, go to, where's a, I mean, the Grand is usually pretty good because you've got, what's it, adamantite, and you've also got the chance of the rare stuff. Or we go Shadow Moon Valley and we scout Netherwing Ledge in the hope of the expensive stuff. But I probably don't want to farm there until we're higher skill. I wonder if there's a way to track how many times he gets killed in a week. I don't know. It's pretty regular though. There's always somebody griefing that auction house, and in turn griefing the goblins trying to use it. Some people get their kicks in mysterious ways. Faster flying available. We're at full speed now. We're at 310 speed. We're full zoom mode now. I'm going to take a break for 2 minutes though. I'm going to go reheat up my flamingo friend. He needs to be re-warmed up because he's not very hot. Say hi. Hi. And I'm going to go grab myself a drink. And I'll be back in 2 minutes, boys and girls. everybody, we're back, we're back. Have you sold any 262 Grimveiled robes? That's a very specific request. Probably. Hot pink is back, so is his flamingo. Hey, I like the colour pink. My favourite colour is red, so pink is just, you know, a shade of red. I would imagine, yes, I've sold a fair few 262 Grimveiled robes, I'd imagine. I have a bit of a bug with my 249 Grimveiled robe, though, that TSM Sync has done stupid stuff for me, so it doesn't track it properly. Oh, debating if I should make them. I tend to go, I haven't got my EU accounts open right now, but I tend to go by just, I craft at least one of everything, so that, and I would recommend people do the same as well, especially now the legendaries have come down in price. It's way more of a risk to, you know, just have one of everything stocked up. I mean, because you can still list it, and if it sells, great, recraft it. And if it doesn't, then, well, it's not the end of the world. It's often better to craft something and try and sell it than not craft it because you think it won't sell. It's one of the biggest pitfalls goblins tend to fall in early on, is they talk themselves out of doing stuff. Sometimes it is just better to, you know, give it a go, because you will surprise yourself. More to the point that even if there's a logical reason why somebody shouldn't buy one, you're also making the assumption that everybody acts in a logical way, which they definitely don't. So I've sold ridiculous things at ridiculous prices that make absolutely no sense. Now, if I hadn't crafted, listed, posted, kept it on the auction house, that wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, don't talk yourself out of doing something just because you think it won't sell. Craft it and go sell it. If it sells, great. If not, sell it at a small loss. If it still doesn't sell, sell it at a big loss. But then you know for sure. Bomb socket legendaries tend to sell almost as well and at a higher profit usually. Yeah, the profit on them tends to be better for that exact reason, that too many people talk themselves out of crafting them in the first place. Selling the less common legendaries for 150k still? It's possible. It's possible. We might finish this. We'll finish this one lap over here, and then we'll head probably to Negrand. I think Negrand is probably a good route, because once again with Negrand you just kind of follow the edge of the map. They weren't very they weren't overly creative with where they position the nodes in Outlands. You basically skirt the edge of everywhere, and you kind of pick up 90% of what's available. Is the flamingo the special guest? He is, yeah. The flamingo is the special guest. I've got a bit of a bad neck, so he's keeping my neck warm, and B, he's also putting pressure on the muscle that aches in my neck, so I approve of this clickbait. Ironically, I'm actually the special guest later today, but not on this stream. Today, much later today, in fact, because of time differences, I'm joining Dirty Irby on his stream later today for his weekly trade. What does he call it? I think he calls it trade chat. And we're just gonna, you know, talk gold making for an hour, do a little collab. Should be fun. With both Jack and Zanzaful stepping back from doing their podcast, I think there's room in the market for somebody to put together something like that. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really a good host for a podcast. With the Auction House podcast, for example, I was happy to help out occasionally when needed, but I didn't feel very comfortable kind of like being a host. I'm much better at being a guest, I think. I'm much better at answering questions than I am asking them, if that sort of makes sense. I don't know. Mourn over his inventory dropping in value. I'll definitely we'll definitely talk about that. That's for sure. Maybe Dirty Irby can release a video like how to lose 25 million gold in a week. Because I imagine that's probably what he lost, if not more. The combination of the Korthite crystals he probably had in stock, added on top of all of the inventory that he probably had in stock, I reckon, especially the fact that he was doing it across, what was it, 3 realms? I imagine he lost a lot of gold. But we'll find out later. I'm not sure if he's... Where's this herb then? Where is it? I'm not sure he's actually even streamed since he's come back off holiday. This might be his first stream back. I'm not sure. Oh, he's online now. Oh, it's because he never turns his computer off. Is he here? No. Glad I decided not to hold any. The only loss I made on the legendaries was the legendaries I already had crafted. Yeah, I didn't. I just rode the wave on it a little bit. I didn't make any loss, but I also didn't make any gains that week. I sort of broke even. And I broke even by... I was also somewhat slightly lucky that I was not cashing out, but I had dropped my inventory holding pretty drastically, literally the week before. And it was because I was going to start focusing on this NA series that I didn't want to have lots of stock and lots of inventory, because if I take a week off EU gold making, you know, I was concerned that the prices might do some silly things. So yeah, it was just pure luck more than anything else that I wasn't holding on to too much stock at the time. And I was able to firstly sell through a lot of the legendaries that I had relatively quickly, and I was able to continuously recraft during the drop of the crystal price. So I broke even. Didn't go forward, didn't go backwards, which in that scenario is got to be considered a win. because yeah, I'm aware lots of goblins, lots of gold makers took significant losses that week because of the crystal dropping in price. One thing I want to talk about a little bit today, and one of the video that I will put together today is actually based around these new, the fact that now we have cheap quartzite crystals. There's a whole side of the legendary crafting market that's pretty untapped, and probably not very well known about, because it's not really been a thing yet. But there are ways and means now to dramatically reduce your crafting cost on a couple of different ranks of legendaries. You can start crafting rank 3s and rank 4s very cheap. Now that the quartzite crystals are dropping in price, especially for the more expensive professions as well. So like leatherworking, for example, you can craft rank 4 leatherworking pieces considerably cheaper than just using the default rank 4 recipe. Not only can you craft them much cheaper than using the default rank 4 recipe, it also means you don't even need to have unlocked the rank 4 recipe, and yet you can still be making rank 4 items to sell. There's big opportunities there for either fully skilled up legendary sellers who are restocking, or in turn new goblins that want to get in on some of the profitable rank 4 sales. Save 20k on rank 4 rings. Yeah, Jewelcrafting's another one. The rank 4 rings, that you can sell those things as fast as you can craft them. And there's good opportunity to turn a profit on them as well. There's one significant advantage that people have with that market now is the fact that add-ons don't support this yet. I've had it confirmed to me by one of the devs for Trade School Master that as of right now, they don't support this alternative crafting. When TSM crafting only supports the base crafting method, so it doesn't support the low level plus vestige, which also means that people's auctioning operations won't support this either. If they're using crafting in their auctioning operations, which, let's be honest, 99 out of 100 people probably are, that their crafting price will be based upon the default rank 4 recipe. Whereas there's actually ways and means now to save pretty big chunks of gold on your rank 4s. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. I'm basically talking about it a bit now just because I want to get my thoughts together on it. Because this is, I'm going to be slightly cheeky today. I'm actually going to record the video live on stream. Yeah, that's my plan at least. I know I do that on a Monday with the Wowhead Weekly Economy Report. But I'm going to see how it goes with, because I almost didn't stream today. I was contemplating not streaming today simply because of this. I don't want to be sat at the computer all day today because it's not good for me. So I need to min-max my content creation today. So we'll give that a go. Loving the special guest. I would rather he not be here, but he's a welcome guest while he's needed. So let's finish this lap. Let's get to why is he needed? I've bust my neck. mainly down to the fact that I sit at a computer for quite literally 12 hours a day. It doesn't do my neck any favours. It's no biggie. It happens once every 18 months. It fixes itself pretty quick. Just needs a bit of TLC and it'll be fine. My wife gave me this painkiller before I went to bed yesterday. She said it was some painkiller that I should take this and it might make me a bit sleepy, but it'll take the pain away. I was like, cool, fine, whatever. Went to bed, didn't make any difference whatsoever. Woke up in the middle of the night. It was like I was in some sort of floating dream world. I think it was closer to some. If you're a hint out there, if your wife or partner ever gives you some sort of random drug and tells you to take it, decline. Because guys, I'm telling you, we are not made for these female level drugs. Not even close. Not even close. It's a dangerous game. Point out in the stream that quartzite crystals are not all EU Sylvanus. US quantity, median, mean price. The price is very much getting there though. That's the point. One of the biggest advantages you can have as a goal maker is seeing a market before everybody else does. Now, if you're aware, if you know what price you need to buy your quartzite crystals at to start crafting rank 4s at a cheap price. You're probably way ahead of the game, and when everybody's crashing the price on these crystals because they don't think they're worth a bunch, you've got your advantage on the market there. The US weirdly is a little bit behind. The quartzite crystals consistently have been more expensive over on the US, but I would also then relate that back to the other side of it, that the legendaries are also more expensive, so there's room there either way. I mean, if there's 30k profit on a rank 4 ring, for example, and you can craft it for like, you could take that 30k normal profit and turn that into 40k just by crafting it with a rank 2 and a vestige. You've granted yourself more potential profit on every sale. Secondly, if the market gets squeezed and the profit starts dropping, you've got the advantage of that your crafting price was considerably lower. But yes, I will emphasize the fact that this is once again one of those things that it's not going to be the case everywhere, but it's something to be aware of, because if it's not the case yet, it will be in the very near future. Because this was the this actually is the intended design of quartzite crystals and the Vestige of Origins. It's designed to give you like a catch-up mechanic for the legendary crafting system, which I think is one of the... Now, Blizzard tend not to step in and change things unless they absolutely have to. And I think they were concerned that the natural economy for the quartzite crystals just wasn't dropping to the point where the system was actually meant to do what it was meant to do. In my opinion, need a spreadsheet that shows leather at X, then quartzite crystals be Y. Let me show you something. Let me show you something, Because guess what? Somebody might have a spreadsheet that does just that. If we take a look at Umberhide, somebody might have a spreadsheet that does exactly that. You put in your material prices. Let's say you start getting Korthite crystals for 350 gold a piece. Your callous hide is pretty good price. Your desolate leather's good price. Let's say these go down to 200. This goes down to 450. Maybe your Korthite crystals drop to 300. I'm trying to manufacture this to be a thing. Maybe let's put those back to 500. 250. Yeah, here we go. So, for example, in the not too near future, you can start making rank 4 helms, legs and vests cheaper with a rank 2 recipe plus a vestige. Put in material prices like an animal, wanna buy API. I was thinking about this more so yesterday. And the more I think about integrating an API to the spreadsheet, the less I want to do it. Because if I integrate an API, what I then have is the problem of, well, what price source do I use for the material values that are imported? Because if you just use DB Market, that's about as useful as a chocolate teapot to most people. Because the DB Market price, as we know, is so horrendously wrong most of the time. Nobody pays market value for their materials. Yeah, the more I think about integrating an API, the less I actually want to do it. Because I don't think it's going to be as helpful. I think like putting the material, if you have buy prices for your materials, prices to which you like to buy your materials at, as and when they're at those prices you buy them, that's a much better gauge of valuation. I think even with an API, I'd have to make it so that people could choose to manually override what the API gives you in the first place. And if that's the case, it negates the need for it, like even to begin with. Like I'm sure somebody can fill out 5 or 6 materials, and then everything is done for them. But either way, now you can start to see that it's occasionally profitable to make a rank 2 with a vestige as cheaper than what it costs you to make the rank 4 by itself. And this is just based on crafting cost, right? The one thing my spreadsheet can't do is look at what the current actual min buyout is for the rank 4. This is just based on crafting costs. Now, if it's cheaper to craft a rank 2 than it would be to craft a rank 4, I can categorically guarantee that there's considerably more profit in it, because the rank 4 is likely to be profitable, where the rank 2, if you craft it, you're probably putting 8,000 gold just in the bin, because it just won't sell. So crafting the rank 2 is actually going to cost you 8,500 gold. Whereas if you make a rank 2 with a vestige, not only is it going to cost you less than the 22,000 gold a rank 4 would actually cost to craft, firstly, you could probably be doing it before you've even unlocked the rank 4. Secondly, the rank 4 is likely to actually sell and turn you a profit. There's so many wins there, it's unbelievable. You want them to fill out 5 or 6 materials on how many tabs? At least you want to enter desolate leather price on 1, not 10 times. Yeah, but you just use the tabs you want to use. Look, sure, there's an element of that, but no. There's no. I'm sorry, but no. I also know for a fact that people don't use every sheet in this spreadsheet. There are some that they use and some that they don't. You might have to put desolate, because if you're a leather worker, right, you put desolate leather in here, and you also put desolate leather in here, and then you're done. Like, come on now. By all means, implement an API. Take a like Crunchy said, like take a copy of the sheet, amend it so that you have an API built into it if you wish. But yeah, no. The one thing I would probably emphasize is that my spreadsheet is designed to be beginner friendly and easy to use. That is the #1 goal of my spreadsheet. To be easy to use. Integrating APIs doesn't make it easy to use. Because I'm not even going to explain why, it just doesn't. Because a lot of the time, and I see this 500 times a day, one of the biggest issues that people have with add-ons like Trade Skill Master, when they start off trying to use something like that, is that they do not understand where those material prices are coming from. Because they do some napkin maths, right? They do a little calculation themselves based on what they buy their materials for, and it spits out a different number than to what this add-on spits out, and they get confused, and you're not helping them at that point. You're actually going backwards. My spreadsheet is designed so that people can put in their own napkin math numbers and get a very accurate answer to what they should probably be doing. Pink Boy says no. What's he saying? Huh? Yeah, he says no API, yeah. The only thing I'm thinking of doing is Trade Skill Master have approached me and asked if I want to test their new API, because they've been you may have noticed that the TSM API has been down since the beginning of Shadowlands, and they have rebuilt it and they're looking to test it. So I might do a version 2.0 of the spreadsheet with TSM's API integrated to it, which I might use just for the purpose of testing, but it's not going to replace the current spreadsheet, let's put it that way. Except what you say, this is not really a stream for beginners. Far more value for the experienced. Beginners are not making Legos. I massively disagree. I 100% disagree. There are more beginner goal makers trying to make legendaries, and the reason that they're not succeeding is because the legendary system is actually relatively complicated, because there's so many different variables at play with it. The goal of my content is the stream is, yes, I agree, the stream tends to get a little bit more advanced than your average goal making stream, but for the YouTube content I like to provide to the masses, should we say, I like to make sure that it's at least beginner friendly, as I don't want to segregate people automatically. How much gold do you need to make Legos? Millions? You said it. Most people have less than a token. But that doesn't mean that their desire to make gold disappears, right? the whole point of the Vestige of Origins was meant to be, it's a catch-up system for legendaries. That catch-up system is now becoming a thing, and so my goal here is to help educate people new to the legendary market how it works, and where the possibilities to increase their chances are. Because if you just dive in and you craft 15 rank 1s, 15 rank 2s and 15 rank 3s, you're going to burn through all of your gold, then have 45 legendaries that you might not be able to sell. Whereas if you pick up the Vestige of Origins recipe and craft your, instead of crafting a whole bunch, instead of crafting 15 rank 2s that you're never going to be able to sell, you craft some rank 4s instead. Not only you craft rank 4s instead, but you craft rank 4s at a cheaper price to what it will eventually cost you to craft a rank 4 anyway, and then sell it for a profit. I think that is considerably more helpful. And in turn, it means you can start with less gold. That's kind of the point, right? Started off with 600k, now I've over 4 million since watching the stream. Stop being so negative towards beginner capabilities. I know, yeah, Crunchy, you've done incredible things in a very short period of time as well. If I understand it right, you've only recently started using Trade Skill Master at all. Right then, let's grab our last few. In fact, we've pretty much hit the south part. Should we go to where's next on our where's next? Do we go? I think we probably want to go Nagrand. You know, Nagrand is a relatively simple route. Does Zygor do a Nagrand route? Gold gathering. Let's look. It's going to be Adamantite, isn't it? Oh, it even says to go to Nagrand for Adamantite. Well, there we go. Let's load that one up then. We can head over to Nagrand here. Yeah, see, this is a pretty simple route. Not only is there a good chance for Adamantite, there's also a better chance for the rarer stuff. What are they called? I can never remember what the rare ones are called over here. This stuff, Eternium, and then there's also the Corium ore as well, isn't there? I think. I almost wish I didn't pick up this thing. Where is it? No, this one. Because that's completely swayed my loot appraiser numbers. Let's take the value of that. Let's take 35k off that. Means we basically did 20k. Okay, we still made about 20,000 gold in value. Off just the fel. I mean, we've got an entire stack of fel iron. Plus a bunch of herbs and stuff as well. It's not that bad at all. I'll take that. 222 gold each for Eternium ore. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Sure. Okay. Right, I'm going to park my dude here for a minute. Park my dude here. You can chill on this hill. Let's leave him doing his thing for a minute. I need to load up... is it this one? Yeah. Load up another one of my accounts real quick. Why is my other game not loading? Oh, here we go. Right, let's load in. Let's trying to think of which Jewelcrafting and leatherworking are actually good examples of this. So, right, if we're going to record a YouTube video, I need Mr. Mingo. Mr. Mingo needs to take a break for a minute. You can go sit over there for a second. Because while I don't mind explaining to you guys while we're live why I've got a flamingo on my shoulder, for the purpose of the YouTube video, I will get rid of him. Now, hopefully, you'll get to see this one take Andy live in action. Let's go to somewhere that's not quite so green. The Necrolord Covenant place is terrible for filming YouTube videos in because it's just gross. Let's go somewhere a little bit more pretty. My choice is always Bastion. I always want to record my videos in Bastion because it's the most pretty for the purpose of a video. Let's take a quick trip over to Bastion. Can I easily... Not easily. Oh, okay. At least shows the crafting costs correctly here. I'm hoping in 4.12 TSM can work on the UI a little bit more, because their UI doesn't really do a great job of displaying these optional reagents. Because what you would kind of hope it would be is that if you had whichever rank you have selected here, you would hope it would also update this information here, which it doesn't. Nor have I found a way to make it do that. It always just shows this random information, which I'm of the opinion that it would be better to not show any information than to show incorrect information. I mean, it's great that it shows the crafting cost down here for the rank 1, that's cool. But if I go rank 2, it's now changed the crafting cost to 10k, but it still hasn't changed any of this. So this I think should also update with whichever is selected here. And in turn, if you go, right, well, rank 2 with a Vestige of Origins, great, we've now got a 41,000 gold crafting cost here. once again, it would be better if it showed it here as well, because then you could because this is great, but what you don't know is you have to then. Oh, okay, at least it does that, though. That's one thing that it didn't used to do. At least if you now hover over Shadowcast Ring here, it sees it as a rank 4 and will show you the auction house data of a rank 4. But it still doesn't get the crafting cost right. The TSM crafting is showing the wrong crafting. It's showing the value of the... Yeah. There's definitely some stuff TSM need to improve with this, I think. And the fact that the Vestige of Origins is, you know, snipped off the bottom. And I don't think it matters how... Because you can't change the height of this window. You can change this. You can move this all over the place. But you can't move this one. And you can't move any of the other borders. These are static borders. So you can never act like there's a little scrolly thing here. Yeah, cool, but just let me resize the window. Like I'd happily see slightly less. I guess for the purpose of trying to use vestiges on lower ranks, you can kind of do it. You can kind of, just by testing, have a quick look. I mean, you could go, right, I want to craft a rank 4. Oh, now you see it hasn't updated this now. Now it's showing a rank 4 with a vestige. Oh, no, now you have to, because, okay. So you have to then delete that. Okay. Yeah, I just don't like the TSM interface. I did mention this to them in the when they were creating 4.11, that it's great that they've got the optional reagents and all, but the interface is terrible now. You could just look at, now you see what that's actually something you can't do for if you are just leveling up your professions, you won't have unlocked rank 4 to even be able to see what a rank 4's crafting cost is, because you won't be able to select rank 4 because you haven't unlocked it. So you won't know that crafting a rank 2 with a vestige may or may not be more or less than what it would naturally cost to craft a rank 4 when you finally unlock it. Yeah, it's real messy. You kind of need to see all of the crafting costs up front. And that's why I think it would be really important for this data up here to also change. Because let's be honest, 9 times out of 10 when you're crafting something, the thing you care about is the potential profit. Crafting cost is great and all, but what I really want to find out is, well, can I turn any profit by crafting it in the first place? The fact that this profit doesn't change, regardless to what I select here in terms of rank, regardless to what optional reagents I attach, this never changes. The only way I have to manually work that out with TSM by going, alright, well, I've got a rank 4 with a vestige, so it's 60k to craft it. Now I hover over it, and now I look at the DB min buyout and go, okay, it's 97. Okay, so there is profit on that. Now TSM crafting is telling me there's profit. If it's done the calculation and it knows that there's 59,000 gold of profit and 33,000 gold profit, sorry, 59,000 gold of cost and 33,000 gold profit, why doesn't it just update this as well? I don't understand why these don't update when you change things down here. I also don't like the fact that this is a pop-up and you have to press lots of things, and it's Great that you've got tooltips on these at least now, but... Okay, right. Do I have... I bet I don't have any Vestige of Origins on me, do I? I can make one. How are you doing, live? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm preparing my thoughts for a little YouTube video I'm going to record in a minute. What I probably need to do is grab an updated Quartzite crystal analysis page. If I put this here, is it visible? Yes. I need to make this. Right, let's find a nice spot in Bastion with a nice background to nicely frame a YouTube video. Where's a decorative scene? What if we sit ourselves up here? We can make a nice background out of this, can't we? Frame the shot. That's quite cool. We got most of Bastion in the background there, look. That'll do. That'll do. Nicely framed. We could even go as far as get rid of the UI, look. I might need that actually. Let's get rid of... What's going on here? Let's get rid of all of those. We don't need those in screen. Right. Let's check I've got my things in order. Let's do a refresh on this. What is actually the EU median price now on Quartzite crystals is nearly 400 gold. Holy jeez. $227,000 Quartzite crystals apparently on the EU market. Went as high as... Oh no, hang on. Let's go regions. Where's the region one? Oh my days. Jesus. Look what happened after last Wednesday. Hot snap. We went up to nearly 400,000 quartz. This is interesting though, right? We had a huge spike in Quartzite crystals last week. But it didn't appear as if we had anywhere near the spike of them this week. That just goes to show, right? Look at the size of this, like, surge of Quartzite crystals. As everybody ran out on as many alts as they possibly could to go and gather a whole bunch of them up. And, like, the sky's falling, let's sell all of our stock, yeah. And so the quantity available on auction houses skyrocketed to nearly 400,000 as the price was dropping. And then in the past, over the weekend, the quantities slowly started to come down. Tuesday it dipped at the lowest point and it went up again yesterday. But it interestingly only increased by like 30,000 crystals yesterday. Nowhere near the level of... So this is sort of... this is more indicative of what we'll expect to see as an increase in quantity on a Wednesday. This was just people going, oh my god, I need to sell my Quartzite crystals as fast as possible. This wasn't new Quartzite crystals. This was stockpiles that were being dumped. This was more likely the actual new supply of Quartzite crystals that hit the market. And actually look at the other spikes that we've seen. So like I'd imagine this is one, right? Yeah, this is what back at the tail end of July, we went from 150 to 180. So there was only 30,000 new crystals generated back then, and this was when there were 2,500 gold apiece. So actually, now that the player base is halved, yet the player base is halved and the supply of crystals has doubled, we're still only seeing the same amount of an increase in Korthite crystals on a reset day as we were a few weeks ago. So we can safely say by that the bottoming out of the crystal price is pretty much here. Region wide, I can't imagine at this point onwards it's going to get. I mean, it'll dip to like, I don't know, 300 gold maybe, but I can't really see them going much below 300 gold, which was about where I suspected they'd be when we were looking at the PTR. If anybody remembers my fantastically drawn, my outrageously fancy paint drawing of what I suspected the Korthite crystals to do, I seem to remember at that point I sort of said they might come down to sort of 300-400 gold a piece by the time we get, you know, once the craze is done. Now it took Blizzard forcibly increasing the supply of them for that to happen, but either way, I think we're now getting to the point where they probably won't get much lower. Okay, but that's handy to see. Do I want to replicate this, but from a NA perspective? I probably do. Let's duplicate that tab. And let's look at it from an NA perspective. It's always good to do a compare and contrast. So region wide, yeah. So here we can see the graph is nearly identical. This is the NA realms. As of last Tuesday, obviously Tuesday instead of Wednesday, a huge spike as the price starts to plummet, and we see a small uptick this reset just gone. Interestingly though, the region price is still over 600 gold for Korthite crystals on the NA realms. I would in turn suspect that means that the average legendary cost is considerably higher, all the same, on the NA realms as well then. Because like I said, crafting cost is only half the story. The crafting cost, cool, great. If your crafting cost is 50k or 100k, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is what the product then sells for. The profit margins are probably relatively similar. You just have to take a bit more of a risk when you're on the NA realms. Wow, Area 52 actually has one of the highest market prices. Not only the highest market prices, also one of the highest supply of crystals. Area 52 in Illidan seems to have a good supply of them. Kel'Thuzas, and then a whole bunch of places. There's a lot more realms, you know, in the EU that have just stacks of the things. 6,000 plus on Kazakh, 6,000 plus on Hyjal, 7,000 plus on this random realm, 7,000 plus on Torin Mill now. There's a lot more realms with a lot of them. Howling Fjord has got nearly 14,000 crystals. Oh my days. Right, okay. Well, that's handy information to have. Let's do that one, because that all fits in the screen. What does it take the lace stripe to be to get your essences for 300 gold a piece? You can still pay like 8 gold or something for lace stripe and get your essences at 300. If you're buying lace stripe, wow, you can buy lace stripe at 10 gold a piece and get your essences for 333. So actually, whoa, yeah, Jewelcrafting's the big one then. If you're paying less than 10 gold a piece for your lace stripe, and somewhere in the region of 100 gold for your Shadowghast ingots, your Korthite crystals can be... Your Korthite crystals could probably be as high as 500 gold. And it's actually cheaper for you to make a rank 2 with a Korthite, with a Vestige of Origins than it is to just craft a rank 4. Not only is it cheaper, only by 100 gold mind, but it's not only cheaper, you're also having to prospect way less Elithium ore, way less lace stripe, because you only need 15 of each of the essences. Alright, maybe a couple more because you need this, but 17 essences as opposed to 40 is, if nothing else, considerably less lace stripe that you're going to need to churn through. That's huge. I didn't realize you could pay quite as much for your Korthite crystals with Jewelcrafting. That's ridiculous. If you're getting your Korthite crystals for 400 gold a piece right now, you're making rank 4 Shadowghast rings for over 4,000 gold less than what people are actually making them for by crafting rank 4s naturally. You're getting them 4,000 gold cheaper, which is basically 10% cheaper. More than 15% cheaper. And you're prospecting less to get them. So many wins. So many wins all over the place with that one. Holy smoke. On what is arguably the most popular base legendary right now. Damn. Damn, son. Doing it for a week but with blue ore because I'm lazy. Yeah, I mean, if you're prospecting Elithium, then you're getting it even faster. You can get 17 essences prospecting Elithium in about a minute. Holy smoke. Alright then, well, for the purpose of the YouTube video, I think we'll focus on Jewelcrafting then, because it's where it becomes very obvious. Okay, they have to drop ridiculously low in value before you can start making rank 3s for cheap, but yeah. You have to get them sub 250 gold to make cheap rank 3s. Which I don't know why you would anyway, because rank 3... I mean, I suppose the rank 3 Shadowghast ring is probably actually still profitable, I don't know. But that's wild, okay. If nothing else, it shows off what the spreadsheet does. Cool, alright. Right, I think I'm about ready to record this. I think I know what I'm going to talk about. For those who are watching live, for reference, I'm going to record this video while we're live on stream. 2 reasons. 1, I'm lazy. 2, my neck is really killing me. So I want to spend as little time at my computer as possible today. Oh, hang on, please hold.
What's lunch?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh yeah.
You don't know yet. I'm about to record a video. Probably not. It's a short stream today. I'll eat some food after. Thanks. Oh, now that really threw my train of thought. Not muted? Yeah, no, I couldn't. It's fine. The old wife aggro. No, she was offering me lunch, so there was no aggro there. The problem with rank 1 plus the Vestige of Origins is that you get 5 experience instead of 15. Yeah, but if you can't craft a rank 15 in the if you can't craft a rank 3 in the first place, it's that's the point, right? It's meant to be a catch-up system. This is while it's of benefit to those who are just restocking and have already leveled it up, where it's actually designed is for those that are just starting to level their legendaries. If you only have access to the rank 1 pattern, you've actually got 2 things you could craft. You could craft a rank 1, or you could craft a rank 3, assuming your Vestige of Origins is at the right price. Now obviously once you've done 15 of that, whichever way you choose, whether you just craft rank 1s and put them in the bin, or you try and craft some rank 3s that might sell profitably but might cost a little whatever, then you unlock the rank 2 recipe, and then the second you've unlocked the rank 2 recipe, you actually have the ability to craft a rank 4 as well, which is massive, right? You've only crafted 15 legendaries and you get the ability to craft a rank 4, whereas previously you'd have to have crafted 45 legendaries to have the ability to craft a rank 4. That's kind of the big point here. And as we know, the higher ranks tend to have a much greater chance of being profitable. Rank 4s, weirdly, being one of the most profitable still on a percentage basis. You might make 10,000 gold on a rank 4, or you might make 10,000 gold on a rank 6. But if it only costs you 20k to make that rank 4 instead of 60k to make that rank 6, your actual percentage profit is much higher. But alright, okay. I think I know what I'm doing with this. Let's see if we can one-hit wonder this. See if I can do some magic. Stand up, you lazy hunter. Once again, before I start, for the purpose of those watching live, I'm going to record a YouTube video. When I say see you later, peace, I will not be ending the stream. That's just for the purpose of the YouTube video. If you have any, it means you get a bit of a sneak preview into today's video. If you have any questions or queries, or feel free to throw them in the chat. I'll answer them once I've gone through it. This is not going to be a particularly long video. So it shouldn't take me too long to do, and hopefully I'll get it right on the first take. Not always do this is going to be a good sneak preview. Not always do I get my, although I tend to record my videos and structure them to be like one take, this is the content. Sometimes it takes me a few attempts to get it, you know, right, but we'll see. More importantly, I'm not used to doing this on stream, so maybe I'll get stage fright, who knows. Probably not. Let's go. How are we doing there, boys and girls? Manthis here, and welcome back to another video. So we talked a little bit in a previous video of mine that we released last week regarding the legendaries and the Korthite crystal price crash, that it's starting to get to the point where you can actually craft those Vestige of Origins and start applying them to the lower ranked legendaries, and start making some higher rank legendaries for a cheaper price. Not only cheaper, but they're also going to give you the opportunity of, more than likely, being that little bit more profitable as well. So I wanted to take a little bit of a deep dive into it today and talk about exactly how it works, how you can go about doing it, and I've got a fantastic little tool for you to make the whole process much easier. So what are we talking about then? Let's take Jewelcrafting as an example. We open our Jewelcrafting profession. I'll open it with the default UI just so it's looks the same for everybody. I understand not everybody uses Tradeschool Master. But if we take a look at the Shadowghast ring, We have 4 different ranks. Now, what we can actually do, even on a rank 1, is we can add a Vestige of Origins. Now, it seems pretty much crazy to do that, or at least it's felt crazy to do that up until recently, because the Vestige of Origins has been so expensive. But now that the price of those Quartzite crystals has come down, your actual crafting cost for these Vestiges is far more manageable, right? And it pushes it into a position where it's actually, in many cases, profitable to start using these weird combinations. Crafting rank 1s and rank 2s with Vestiges to create rank 3s and 4s is not only a cheaper way to do it, but is also a really good way to catch up if you're just getting into the legendary crafting. Now, I've ballsed up. I knew I'd not do this in one take. I accidentally looked at chat. Alright, I wasn't liking how that was going anyway. God damn. This is why I shouldn't do this live on stream. My other account's trying to log itself out as well. Let's just log that out real quick. And for those that say I have a YouTube voice, it's all lies. It's a myth. Right, we'll try that again in a second. Now you see, if I was just sensible, I'd just do some simple editing and continue from where I left off, but it's not my style. I was trying to create a segue into my spreadsheet, but the segue didn't work, because what I want to actually do, what I want to do is point out the spike in price, spike in quantity, and the decrease in price first. Then we head to the cheat sheet to work out the calculations. Yeah. And how do I explain this without it sounding more complicated than it needs to be? There's got to be an easy way to explain this without it like seeming overly complicated. Because already I feel that was sounding complex, and that's not my goal. My goal is to try and simplify things, not complicate. You can now use your Vestige to level up and actually maybe make some gold on your way. Oh, love that. That's perfect. There we go. There we go. You can now level up you can now level up your legendary professions utilizing these Quartzite crystals and Vestiges without the need for huge amounts of gold investment, and giving yourself a better chance to make some profit along the way. Where do I apply for the job? You're hired. While we're on the subject, I've got 1 million liquid at the moment, around 300k in stock, all professions leveled, but haven't really started Legos yet. In your opinion, could I start getting into Jewelcrafting Legos, or should I acquire more liquid? If so, how much and what would you do? Continue with consumables and flipping? Playing on Time and Mill. Thanks for your input. Well, I mean, if you're on Time and Mill, I know for a fact that Jewelcrafting's mad level profitable, because I'm making stinky amounts of gold with Jewelcrafting right now. Jewelcrafting is probably the way to go as your first legendary profession. The turnaround on your gold is going to be pretty quick. Listen to the video and start, yeah. Do you make your crafters professions mixed with Jewelcrafting? Jewelcrafting does tend to be the cheapest way to make the Vestiges, but it's a marginal difference between Jewelcrafting, leatherworking, and blacksmithing. The only one you want to avoid is tailoring. It's way more expensive to make your vestige with tailoring because of the just stupid amounts of lightless silk it needs. 400 lightless silk was such a mistake. It's basically bent over anybody with just tailoring. No lube, just yeah. All right then, let's give this video another blast and see if I can get this done properly this time. One shot Andy coming up. We need to do it quickly because my neck's hurting. I need to put the flamingo back on my leg. Just bite the pillow. That's a phrase I'm not going to use in the video, but yeah. How are we doing there, boys and girls? Manthis here, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about a topic I touched on in a video last week when we took a look at the crashing price of quartzite crystals. I sort of hinted to you guys that you can use these cheaper quartzite crystals to not only level up your legendary professions if you're in the process of still leveling them, but you can also grant yourself a much greater opportunity to make some profit while you do it. Anybody that's taken a look at the legendary market recently will see that the barrier to entry to get to those good items, those rank 4s, 5s and 6s, is pretty high. You need to craft like 45 of the lower rank stuff. That lower rank stuff is probably going to be a lot more difficult to sell at a profit. But that's all slightly changing now with the Vestige of Origins being much cheaper to craft than it was previously. We can start doing some funny things with the legendary professions, such as applying those Vestige of Origins to the lower ranks. Even in some cases rank 1s. Rank 2s is where the real money's to be made, and let me explain why. So if you take your rank 2 item, which if you haven't unlocked this, you've only got rank 1, you're still going to have to craft some of those. But the second you unlock rank 2, what you actually have the ability to do is make rank 4s. You just need to add that vestige on. Now, there are certain circumstances, assuming you can get your vestiges crafted cheap enough, that this is actually even cheaper than crafting a rank 4 normally. And you don't even need the rank 4 recipe. So this is basically how Blizzard designed this, as to be a bit of a catch-up system. Now, there's one significant problem with all of this though. It's really unnecessarily complicated. And there's not even any add-ons out there that can really help you with this process right now. Our family favourite add-ons, Trade Scrum Master, unfortunately don't really support this right now. Legendary Stock Tracker also doesn't really support this yet, although I had confirmation that it's being worked on. But for now, we're going to have to resort to Ye Olde Faithful, and it's going to be where I bring you back in and introduce my Shadowlands cheat sheet to you once again. Many people have used this up until now. I've actually done a bit of a refresh. You'll see it looks a little bit different maybe since when you last looked at it. I've given it a refresh. It's had a new lick of paint, and it's had some new features added to the legendary crafting sheets as well. So since we're looking at Jewelcrafting, I'll use this as an example. The very first thing you're going to need to do is obviously save a copy of this for yourself so that you can go in and edit it. But once you've got yourself a copy, put in your material prices. If you're prospecting primarily to get your essences, for example, you'll have, I would at least hope, a good idea of what your essences are costing you. Put in your prices and the spreadsheet will do the rest for you. That's the good thing about it. But some of the changes I've made. So it now shows you the cost of crafting your Vestige of Origins, and it's also built in some fancy stuff so that as and when the price is right, it will tell you whether it's sensible or not to craft a higher rank recipe than what you normally are crafting. So if you're leveling up, you've made your rank 1s and you unlock rank 2, and you're deciding, well, do I craft a bunch of rank 2s or should I use the vestiges? The spreadsheet will tell you exactly what's the best route to go. If this little message has popped up, you can, in this scenario, you can craft yourself a rank 4 and you can craft it cheaper, and the likelihood is when you turn to the auction house, those rank 4s are going to be really quite profitable, meaning that you can level up your legendaries whilst making a whole bunch of gold at the same time. Now this little message doesn't always show because it's not always viable. This is why it's important to have a good grip on your material prices. You can see if I drop the price of the Quartzite crystals though, let's say we go down to 300, or let's say your realm is really cheap and you get them for 200, you can see it's all dynamic. It adjusts everything based on these material prices and does the hard work for you. So feel free to check out the Shadowlands cheat sheet if you don't already have a copy. This is linked permanently in my Discord. The link to that is in the description down below. But Quartzite crystal, this may not be super feasible to you just yet, but I wanted to highlight it in a little bit more detail today, mainly because if we take a look at the price of Quartzite crystals, even if it's not possible to do on your realm today, it probably will be relatively soon. We can see that the supply of Quartzite crystals has just exploded recently, all in reason because of Blizzard's relatively heavy-handed hotfix, increasing the amount of Quartzite crystals we all get. But you can also see the value for these things is dipping pretty drastically, pretty quickly. Being ahead of the game is a really good way of making gold in World of Warcraft. Seeing what's going to be possible before it is possible means you have the advantage. There's a phrase I like to use, and it's the early bird catches the worm, and that's very true with gold making. And this is one of those markets that even if it's not profitable for you to do yet, being aware of the fact that it will be puts you in good standing. So I'm going to leave it there for this video, boys and girls. It was really quite a short and sweet one. But if you're looking to level up your legendaries and haven't yet, take a look at this spreadsheet. It gives you all the numbers that you need. If you have leveled up your legendaries and you're just restocking, it's worthwhile being aware of this as well, because if you're restocking your rank 4s, maybe it's actually cheaper to craft them with a vestige and use the rank 2 recipe instead. Who knows? Until you do the maths, you don't know, but the resources are there for you, boys and girls. So if you liked this one, remember to give the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. And there was the video. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. I'll watch that back later and see if I like that. We'll see. I don't think I'm a fan of doing this live on stream. It's too much pressure. Too much pressure. I should probably just, you know, be a regular content creator and YouTube voice disabled. My YouTube voice is not disabled. Bad anal jokes and wording. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I'll watch that back later and see if that's something I like, but watch it and see for yourself, liar. Alright, maybe I do have a YouTube voice. Maybe I have a different YouTube voice as I do streaming voice. It's probably because I spent many years working in sales, and I think because of that I have a slightly different. Not that I'm selling anything, you know, but there was a. Back in my day, it was called a radio voice. I mean, I understand having a face for radio. That's a very subtle way of calling somebody ugly, but there we go. There we have it, admission. Alright, fine, fair enough. Fair enough. Right. I'll watch that back later and see if it's see if I like it. I might I might do that again offline just to see if, you know, have a difference, but I need the flamingo back. My neck hurts. Oh! Mr. Mingo, come back. There we go. Right, we can log out of this account now, actually. We can exit out of that one, and we can get back to leveling over in Outlands. By the way, feel free to cry out in pain on stream. You guys are sick. I had a sales and a manager voice when I worked in sales. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you kind of need one of those. All fun and games until it's International Women's Day. Fine. Right. Let's reload then. Let's see just how valuable... No, not worth it. Where's Loot Appraiser gone? There we go. Let's see if we can finish maxing out our... Oh, what's this? Finish maxing out our professions in Outlands. Hey, our first adamantite deposit. Go on, give me all of the juice. Whoa, hang on. Hang on. 19 gold each, min buyout, realm market value of 23 gold apiece for adamantite ore. Does nobody in the NA farm anything ever? Like, what's going on with these prices? No wonder it's so easy to make gold on the NA. It's because nobody does it. Spent 130 million only on crystals so far. That sounds feasible. Credit card swipe. I wonder just how much of it is that. I wonder just how much that has, because I don't want to dive too deep into stereotypes here, but it's often considered very stereotypical that Americans will like work 60 hours a week, meaning they probably are 10 times more concerned about sort of you know, if they farm gold in game, and they're farming the gold not because they enjoy farming the gold, but they're doing it because they need the in-game currency. Then I imagine, and like I said, I don't want to step too deep into stereotypes here, but I imagine the NA market and the NA player base very, very quickly will see more value in just swiping the credit card. I would imagine. Like I said, I don't know kind of how true that is, and I know that's probably not true for everybody. Hence by, you know, by definition of it being a stereotype. But compared to the EU realms, where there's definitely more geographical locations where the swipe of the credit card is actually a sizable amount of money. Oh, what's it? Fell iron? We don't want fell iron anymore, that's gross. Silver Moon is mine. You're selling that many, you've spent that much on crystals so far on Silver Moon? There's another very regular viewer of the stream from Silver Moon who is not having the best of time selling legendaries recently. Maybe you're the problem. This Dreaming Glory doesn't seem to be worth too much though. Herbs are the old world mining seems to be really valuable. Herbalism, on the other hand, not so much. Not so much. Well, I won't fly past the herbs. I'll still pick them up, but the ore has got considerably more value. Now I can craft my enchanted mats whilst crafting 10,000 Shadowcast ingots. Yeah, I'm always out of Shadowcast. Literally always. I can never craft enough of those. Plus, it's realistically, if you're crafting enough Shadowcast ingots, if you ever, not that this ever really happens, but if you ever get to the point where you actually have too many of them, you know for a fact if you put them on the auction house at a somewhat reasonable price, you'll sell them. Starting to see a lot more random blah 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 bank Lego sellers in the auction house. A lot more people trying to get into the markets, do we think? I mean, it makes sense though, right? I mean, it's really not surprising when you know, you halve the cost to make the things. It's going to attract twice as many people to make the things. Why can I still herb this thing? Instant respawning herbs. Sure. Maybe it's time to buy out the crystals. See, that's the power play though, right? That's the real power play. Now is the time you want to, like, stronghold the materials. But that's a real power play. That is you're gonna have to have deep pockets to try that. Not saying it's not possible, because anything's possible, but you're gonna have to have some serious pockets. I looked at doing that on Torin Mill. There was the you're a big boy. There was the opportunity for me to spend. It would have cost me about 3 million gold, but I'd have bought nearly 8. I think it was something like 8,000 Corthite crystals for that value, for that price. Now, as much as I love to think that there's probably another 10,000 Corthite crystals just chilling in people's bags somewhere, there's part of me that thinks that maybe there isn't. Because maybe anybody that had a stockpile of Corthite crystals dumped them last week. And that's what that's what this shows, I reckon. I reckon, like, this is everybody dumping their stockpile. They're cashing out. Like just dump it. Just get rid of them. I reckon this big spike cleaned out most people's banks of Corthite crystals. So if you were to hoover up on a big realm, if you were to hoover up, I mean, Torin Mill, for example, 7,000 Corthite crystals. If you were to hoover up like 90% of them, I don't think there's going to be all that many more kicking about. Now, you probably don't want to be too aggressive with the market price. But I reckon you could buy out everything under 400 gold, maybe everything under 500 gold, and then price everything back at 700 gold and make an absolute stinky amount of gold. Even if you just sell the crystals back. I don't think there's huge, because this was always the concern for a while about, like, trying to strong arm and buy out the Corthite crystals, was that you never really knew just how many were kicking about somewhere. But with the recent price crash, it would not surprise me if everybody dumped theirs. Just get rid of them. You know. Who's the special friend? Couldn't watch properly today. The special friend is Mr. Mingo. Mr. Mingo is keeping my neck in place because I've bust my neck. It's one of those bean bags with microwave bean bag things. He's here for moral support. Well, more than moral support, actually. It is by definition supporting my neck. So you could argue it's a self-inflicted injury, though. That's what happens if you sit at a computer for 12 hours a day. Don't do it, kids. It's bad for you. $1.6 mil for 3,200 crystals, and the price is back up to a K. I mean, the thing you got to be aware of is it's not something you'd have to actually have any effect. You would need to do it for a couple of days. You'd need to hoover up like the lion's share of crystals. And what you're actually trying to achieve by doing this is to prevent other goblins from being able to restock at the price that they want. That's what you're really trying to do here. You got to remember what you're actually trying to achieve by doing that. What you're trying to achieve is that when that goblin comes in to restock their legendaries, that the crystal prices all of a sudden are 200 gold more than what they actually would want to pay for them, and they choose to not restock. That's like the best thing that can ever happen, is you prevent another goblin from completing their restock. Whoa, why was that so expensive? 2 mana thistle? Why are mana thistles so expensive? That's lies. Call fake news on that one. Watch it in 1 hour. You see, that's the thing, right? You've got to be the price is likely to very quickly come back down to 400 gold a piece, but you then need to be able to do it again. And you want to make it so that the goblin that comes in to do their restock and needs 800 crystals in one go can buy 800 crystals, but they're going to have to pay over the odds to do it, which is likely to stop people in their tracks of doing their restock. And if they're not restocking, then they're probably not selling. But that's real. That's real min-maxy stuff. Don't care about big and smart goblins. I don't like that it's the new ones that usually fuck up markets. Well, you say that, but on what I still consider my main realm of Sylvanas, Sylvanas is completely busted right now. And it's completely busted because there's two both very experienced goblins who are just clashing heads right now. One of them is posting on 2 accounts at the same time to circumvent the throttle. The other one doesn't like the fact that somebody is posting on 2 accounts. And has so now chosen to strong arm by just selling everything at a 10k loss. and continuously recrafting, and basically trying to force the other person out the market. And yeah, it's basically meant that the profits on Sylvanas right now are non-existent on rank 5s and 6s. So I'm kind of letting them do their thing. They can have their little mini goblin war, and I'll just sit back and I'll I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. I'll post mine when they've calmed down a little bit. Goblin warfare is funny though. Especially when you can see it happen. Now, there's always this problem with farming in the Grand. There's always lots in this cave. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to run in a cave. I'll run in a cave if it's a special ore. What's the fancy one? Corium? Is it corium? The purple one. If we spot one of those, we'll go in a cave for it, but otherwise we won't bother. We should probably look at doing some of those. You can do corium farms, can't you? Or corium raids, I guess, is what they're probably called, where everybody goes in a different direction, and even goes as far as like camping the spawn locations. If you can get enough people to do it, you all camp the spawn locations of the adamantite nodes, and then because the corium is a rare spawn of adamantite. And so I think that, correct me, oh, like this, for example, the corium vein. The what would now happen is that everybody in the raid group would all pile onto this one. I guess you can only do it with 8 people. All 8 people would come and they'd all mine this one. And then you go back to your node. And you keep farming your, see, there we go, 3 pieces of corium ore, 5,000 gold. 1,600 gold a piece, these corium ores. Hot damn. Everybody goes back to their own lithium node and keeps mining it every time it spawns, or has, like, you know, a section. You all take a corner of the map, and every time somebody finds a corium node, you just, you know, holler, and everybody comes and farms it. I can imagine that can get quite profitable if you can get enough of them to, especially at these silly prices. Holy shit. $61 herbalism, only 35 skill for mining. Mining skill seems to take a lot longer to get skilled up. Oh, it's probably actually because the we only gain skill points from the adamantite now. We're not gaining skill points from the fel iron. That's probably why. We were probably skill capped over in Hellfire for a while. Student and his guys would have a field day farming at those prices. I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure. This is what blows my mind, right? Because this is literally, I think I'm safe in saying this is the most heavily populated NA realm. And it's, what did we say it was? Like 1,600 gold min buyout for one of these? The corium raid could do business over here. Oh my days. And that's before you even look at maybe smelting it and doing other stuff with it, which could probably increase your profits even further. What was the max price you sold a Lego for? I managed to sell one at 650k. I mean, I was never really cheeky enough to post anything at those ridiculous prices. I think I did a... what was it? I can't remember exactly. We sold something in the 400k range very early on. I don't think I ever sold anything quite that ridiculous. It's funny though, right? For 650k now, you could supply an entire mythic guild with their legendaries for 650k now. Pretty much. If they all wanted rank 6 cloaks, they could probably all have one for 650k right now. Okay, maybe not all of them, but like 16 of the 20. My most ridiculous sale in 9.0 was we sold a rank 4 Shadowghast ring literally on the day that Legos became a thing for 400, smack bang on 400k. And I was the worst thing is that the dude there we go. The same thing happened for me. The dude literally turned around and put it straight back on the auction house because he obviously realised that you couldn't actually use it. Go on, give me something juicy. What was that? Gron Blessed War Beads of the Quick Blade. Oh, it was a neck piece. Oh, damn. Of all of the rares, of all of the things to get, you get a neck. Well, that's never going to be used for transmog, is it? That's basically vendor trash. Yeah, dude bought a rank 4 Shadowghast ring off me for 400k. He obviously went to the rune carver. The rune carver told him no. So he went and put it straight back on the auction house. Bit of a feels bad, but there was a real moral dilemma in patch 9.0 with the legendaries. The fact that you could craft and sell legendaries that not a single person in the game could actually use always felt really weird to me. Not only could people buy them and not use them, they also weren't going to be able to use them for like 3 weeks at that point. It's not like they just need to get like the currency to use it or the reputation to use it or something. No, they were literally being gatekeeped by like 4 weeks of farming. It was it felt odd. It felt like you were kind of scamming people, I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes you gotta let people make their own mistakes. People tried to justify it by saying that, oh, well, maybe they're planning ahead, they're preparing. When 9 times out of 10, somebody bought that 235 because it had a bigger number. They had no idea that the rune carver was going to say no. My buddy was selling the 230 rings for 100k for a few days. Oh my god. Yeah, that happens every patch though. I mean, I remember exactly the same stories with the 168 gear. Those that were the first to grind out the Venari rep for 168 gear made millions, and I mean literally millions, in the first couple of days. Because that was at the point where the expansion was brand new, and 168 gear was actually, upgrades for people, upgrades for main characters, because it was 168 gear was like, what was it, 2 item levels off what the heroics dropped, but you could equip them, like you could just buy them and equip them the second you dinged 60. So people were buying 168 gear to fill the slots from their, either to fill the slots that they were missing or to just skip the heroic dungeons completely. Still, lots of people don't know that you don't need to go from ranks 1 through till 6. Yeah, you can just buy a rank 6 and make it straight off if you've got the soul ash and soul cinders. So many people don't. I see it very frequently. At least a few times a week, I'll see somebody buy an entire set of like every rank. Now, I'm not going to stop them, mind. It's like I said, sometimes you've got to let people make their own mistakes, but you can also argue that it's somewhat Blizzard's fault because the legendary system is not simplistic. Based upon how simplistic they try to make the rest of the game, they really didn't make the legendary system very easy to get to grips with at all. There was another one that spawned over here. I'm hoping it was this adamantite. No, it was a stupid mana thistle. Where is it? Now, Zygor's not telling me to go right round the edge. I know for a fact there's a few nodes that spawn on this edge. See? I knew there was. Whoa, that thing had 5 adamantite ore in it. Five adamantite and 2 eternium ore. I can get back on the route now. Whoa, you're a big dude. Are you? No, you're not a rare. We're going to max mining pretty soon. We're 67 out of 75 for herbalism. Mining's taking a bit longer though. Hey, a rich one. This is going to give us all the loots. Oh, damn. 5 adamantite, 3 eternium, 7 motes of earth, and an azure moonstone. Oh, which is worth actually nothing, sure. One of the, I wonder if it's still on my YouTube channel. One of the very first goal making videos I made was a Burning Crusade Jewelcrafters shuffling, like prospecting shuffling video. This was like 10 years ago at this point. I didn't make it when TBC was current content. I think I made it like in Cataclysm or Wrath or something, but I used to remember that you could take adamantite ore, do nothing more than prospect adamantite ore and sell the gems, and you just would make so much gold. It was disgusting. It was one of my this is why Jewelcrafting has been, I would probably say Jewelcrafting has been my favourite profession almost forever. If I was to pick one profession, excluding legendaries, because legendaries obviously sway people's perception of the professions a little bit at the moment, but I would go as far as to say over the ages, Jewelcrafting is the one profession that's probably made me the most gold. Because there's all the prospecting, nobody ever understands prospecting. Nobody ever works out the prospect rates. Nobody takes the risk of doing it. Leaving it open to those that do understand the numbers to make an absolute killing. I don't think there's been an expansion or a point in time in history where prospecting has not been profitable. And it's usually because the art of prospecting correctly is knowing what to do with everything that you get. Just like right now, for example, thanks to bots, of course, While I must admit, the constant supply of cheap ore definitely helps, yeah. Excuse me. Like, even right now, for example, I see a lot of people sort of... because prospecting's been a hot topic for me recently. I've done, obviously, a video on prospecting, whatever. People still like to think that there's just one correct answer for prospecting. Oh well, I'm only crafting Shadowghast rings. So if I'm only crafting Shadowghast rings, is it still better for me to prospect Leystrite even though I don't sell the essences? Well, no. You're doubling your cost at that point. Oh, okay then. Well, I'll prospect the zone specific ore then. It's like, no, that's also not the answer. It's this kind of it's people's understanding that there must be one correct answer to their problem. That means that so many people do prospecting wrong. I'm actually very intrigued to see if we get new materials in 9.2. Because Jewelcrafting needs some love, right? Jewelcrafting needs something more. Because outside of the legendaries, it's got nothing. Like, literally nothing. It's just kind of convenient that right now Jewelcrafting's popping off because one simple reason, Shadowghast rings, but the whole game needs some love. There's an element of that. Professions though are in a bit of a dodgy spot. Still up to, this is still a 20k an hour farm, you know. I'm very, very surprised that these old world materials are worth as much as they are. Because it makes very little sense to me that anything past the current expansion realistically shouldn't be worth much more than like 5 or 6k an hour, surely. But apparently I can farm in TBC. I can fly around the Grand for half an hour and pick up 10,000 gold worth of materials. Which is crazy. Epic gems for Jewelcrafters. I think they need to do something more with gems, you know. Because the value proposition of gems is just terrible. Even socketing gems in your gear, it probably doesn't even add 1% extra throughput to your character by being fully gemmed, which in turn means that nobody's willing to spend anything on them, which is lucky because the gems are just vendor bait because of because of the legendaries. But it's also the same with enchanting. The actual character benefit that you get by being fully gemmed and enchanted. My voice is broken. Oh, yeah. The actual benefit that you gain as a character by being fully gemmed and enchanted nowadays is marginal to none. It's it's almost like they didn't develop the professions very well in Shadowlands. Greater flasks and potions for alchemy, etc. Like kind of like the Nazjatar one. Yeah. Yeah, the concern is they won't try. Blizzard are in a position now that it's such a sticky situation. I think they have to go. They have to go for guaranteed wins. They've had too many swings and too many misses recently, I think, for them to take any risks. Now the problem is to be creative, you kind of have to take risks. But in theory, if you're creative and you implement something that might be a bit risky, the sensible thing to do is to properly test it and get constructive feedback on it before it goes live. But as we know, they don't treat the PTR as an actual proper testing platform anymore. It's just free advertising and free marketing, which means that Blizzard have actually internally made all of the decisions, and player feedback is worth basically nothing now. Until the game goes live, of course. Until the game goes live and everybody complains that the system's dog shit, then even then they're super reluctant to listen to player feedback. Preach did a video yesterday, you may or may not have seen it, where he spoke for 10-15 minutes about his experience now that he's stopped covering World of Warcraft. And one of the things he talks about, without, you know, spoiling the video for you, is just how night and day it is between the developers of World of Warcraft and the developers of almost any other game that he's had dealings with. The fact that when dealing with the World of Warcraft dev team, he felt as if he was kind of the enemy, and that everything, he was like just causing problems for them. Yet any other dealings he's had with developers of any other games have been like with open arms, trying to get as much feedback from the player base as possible, implementing changes off the back of it. It was very interesting to hear just how much of a difference of experience he's had dealing with devs outside of Blizzard. Maybe it means that we'll get a bit of a, I mean, oh, shiny corium vein. Go on, be a big one. Be a good one. 3 corium ore. Lovely stuff. Hopefully a bit of a shake-up with the developers. We can keep our fingers crossed. It will do only good things for the game. I'm going to keep a positive outlook on it for sure. Interesting is what he said about his views to like ratio on his videos as well. And now you see, I have a different perspective on that, because I also run a YouTube channel, and I'm an analytic geek. The thing is because it's his hardcore fan base who are watching his new videos. It was his hardcore fan base which were the ones that were clicking the like button on all his videos previously. The other 80% of his views were coming from just, you know, not so much his hardcore fan base who wouldn't have clicked the like button anyway. The ratio of views to likes is very can be very easily misinterpreted. If you start doing content that's not your normal, the likelihood is the only people that are watching those videos are your hardcore fan base in the first place, who are going to click the like button on the video regardless. Yeah, there's more to that story than actually what he presented, but from a YouTuber's perspective, though, that's still exactly what you want to see, though, because a video with with a higher view to like ratio is actually going to be pushed in the algorithm considerably more so. This is why when it comes to YouTube, I try to steer clear of clickbait, because what you're doing by clickbaiting on your videos is you're farming views, where I would actually rather have viewers, not views. There's a subtle difference between the two, even though it's almost the same wording. Views takes the human element out of it completely. If you're farming views by clickbaiting, you're just farming people to click on that video for the click on that video. But if you're creating videos and you're generating viewers, you're adding the human element back in, and your video is then being attractive to people who not only will watch that one video, but will then likely watch additional videos you put out, and are not watching it just because it's got a clickbait title and thumbnail. I wonder if this corium vein's gonna spawn in again. Nope. Never lucky. Never lucky. I don't know what the average probably is, but we've only come across, I think that's 2 corium veins. I think 2 corium veins in 40 minutes. I don't know if that's a good or bad average. I'm sure somebody that farms more frequently will be able to tell me. How are we doing in terms of actual... We have Outland. Oh, we need 2 more points in Outland Herbalism. And we need... a lot of points in Outland Mining. Okay. I saw that Veritasium video, yeah. Yeah, he also did a good job of explaining the different type, because clickbait is a term that's very broadly used, and in some cases, something can be described as clickbait without actually being clickbait. Because by definition, you want your content to be intriguing to a rich one, intriguing to the person who's going to view that video. But the baity part of clickbait disappears if you actually deliver on the promise in the thumbnail and title to begin with. The issue everybody has with YouTube gold making clickbait is usually the fact that it's a big old gold value that those people then don't feel is realistic to replicate for them. Now, it doesn't matter if the content creator turns around and says, well, this is all based on my realm, and this is based on region averages and X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter. If the person viewing it can't easily replicate the gold value that you put in the title of your video, then it's clickbait. And I can't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to another content creator at some point. And I gave them the feedback of, I genuinely can't remember who it was. I gave them the feedback of that people are way more concerned when they watch a video. People would much rather see what they would be able to achieve more so than what you have achieved. Like 10 times more likely. If somebody watches a video and they feel that they can go away and replicate what they saw and see the same if not better results, they hold that video in 10 times the standing. This is why I tend not to do too many videos, like mailbox openings, for example. Mailbox opening videos are usually not very good. Because, yeah, sure, great. Somebody sold an expensive piece of transmog. Congratulations. That doesn't help me in any way, shape or form. People would much rather see what they can replicate. And this is why I tend to structure my videos on, you know, how and what the viewer can do to make gold, rather than focusing on exactly what it is I have done to make gold. I think, if that makes sense. I become suspicious of videos that are 10 minutes and 1 second in length. It's only 8 minutes now, by the way. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can put mid-rolls on videos that are only 8 minutes long now. But yes. If somebody fucks me with bad content because of clickbait, I don't watch their videos or streams ever again, even if others say that the new video is good. I feel you on that one. I tend to find that it's also very interesting that obviously people are aware that clickbait comes in different forms. There's obviously like graphical form and text form. So you have the title of the video and you have the thumbnail, right? People take far more offense to text-based clickbait than they do graphical-based clickbait. And I can explain this very simply by if you look at a, I'm going to use the genre that we all know and love, Goldmaking. If you put the text on a thumbnail of 50,000 gold per hour, that is considered way more clickbaity than having a mailbox screenshot with 50,000 gold on that mailbox screenshot. So if you use text to clickbait, it becomes way more offensive to people than if you just use a picture. This is why YouTube thumbnails all have this face on them. Something is really not that shocking, but you can forgive the fact that it's shocking because it's graphical. If it was text-based, if the title was "This is the most shocking thing you've ever seen," then you take way more offense to it. Because then when it isn't the most shocking thing you've ever seen, you get annoyed. But a shocked face in a thumbnail is a lot more forgiving. The big red arrows. I'm guilty of using a big red arrow occasionally. Because the big red arrows do work. Or it's the sign of somebody just copies every other creator. There's a bit of that in it, I guess. Most WoW videos I see when I search outside of my subbed creators are usually really basic how don't you know these kind of videos. Possibly, yeah. Those shocked face thumbnails are really annoying. Yeah, they actually are. Gingy is the best thumbnails. What are his thumbnails? Hey, yeah, yeah. Do you think he has a certain format? I think he has a certain format. But he's one of those creators where, yeah, he definitely could work on his titles and thumbnails, but at the same time he also doesn't need to be, because he's got the personality. And not to mention he's very good. Being incredibly skilled at the game definitely helps. Hey, what was that? Outlands Herbalism 75. Now just mining to go. We're only 49 for mining though. We've got a bit of a way to go. I barely even accept using uppercase words in the title to grab attention. I do that quite frequently, actually. In fact, I think I do that probably more than I should do. Ultimate prospecting guide. Corthite crystal. Prize crash. Yeah, I do it in almost every title, actually. Double stats. Yeah, I do that way more than I probably should. I scammed you with the special guest. He is special, and he's not here normally. Makes him a guest. Just because it's a bag of beans in the shape of a flamingo. Special guest delivered. Well, I'm glad he delivered. I should have called it my support act or something. That reminds me I could go do with heating him up again. He's not very hot right now. Usually only see flamingos outside people's houses. I mean, I don't usually see flamingos, if I'm honest. I don't know what you're doing to usually see flamingos. I very rarely see a flamingo. There's no usual about it. Can't remember the last time I saw a flamingo. I see one now. But after today, when do you think the next time you'll see a flamingo will be? Do you know flamingos aren't actually pink? A random little bit of trivia for you. Flamingos aren't actually pink. I mean, they are pink, but they shouldn't be pink. Tomorrow? Well, I hope not. I hope my neck will be better by tomorrow. Does anybody know why flamingos aren't pink? This isn't a joke here. There's no punchline to this. Flamingos actually aren't pink. It's due to the algae. Yeah, it's got something to do with the food that they eat. It's like the little pink, like, it's little pink, like, algae fish kind of stuff that they eat. And the pigment from that slowly turns them pink. But they're actually white. Flamingos are actually white. I see. I thought I was going to get you with a random piece of trivia. Then you guys all knew it anyway. I thought they bleed through their feathers. Wow, that's dark. Yeah, they're all white, but they had to fuck up that one flamingo that one time. We all read Reddit. Fine. I don't even know where I learnt that. It was probably Reddit though, you're right. Wow. Bang goes my little bit of trivia for the day. I thought I'd surprise you with some random flamingo knowledge. Maybe not. Would it work on humans? I imagine if we ate only red food, it would definitely have an effect. Because if you... I mean, it might not turn our skin pink, but I don't know, if maybe we only ever ate, like, beetroots, maybe we would slowly get turned pink. Maybe. Maybe somebody should do it for science. I mean, not me. I'm not eating only beetroots. I bet somebody's tried it. It's that sounds like the clickbait thumbnail of a YouTube video, doesn't it? I ate nothing but beetroots for a week and I turned pink. I mean, that thumbnail is going to be very easy to Photoshop. What? What is this? Quest discovered. Sure. I ate beetroot for a month. You won't believe the results. Shocked face, big red arrow. Shocked face, big red arrow, big red face. Yeah. It was the Mythbusters series. I'm not sure how they named it. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing Mythbusters might have done. Do you know why a platypus is a mammal, though? I barely know what a platypus is. It's the thing with the tail, the flappy tail, right? And the funny beak. Thing that looks like an otter with a funny beak. Is that a platypus? They ate carrots and turned more orange. That's funny. It lays eggs, but it's a mammal. It lays eggs? The fuck is that thing? Platypus is evil AF. If it lays eggs, doesn't that make it like a, I don't know. Can't mammals lay eggs? I don't know. A mammal means it feeds their babies milk. Oh, okay. So it lays eggs and produces milk. Odd. It's an if it's an Australian, does that mean it has another name? Is a platypus... Hang on, what the fuck is a platypus? Do I dare Google this? I'm gonna... Oh, it's that thing. Duck-billed platypus. No, see, I've heard of that. What the fuck is this? What is this? Is this what it looks like before it grows its big old beaky thing? Duck face, beaver tail. What's this? Please don't tell me that's its tongue. It looks like an otter that fucked a duck. This is ridiculous. Platypus also produces venom? God. Maybe they are evil. It's got that kind of fluffy mole fluff though that makes them look really cute. Until you see its massive... I mean, it's got... And it kind of looks a little bit like XQC. Kind of cute, but with a massive nose. Venomous otter duck. Yeah, I don't know if I like those or not. I mean, this dude seems to know what's up with it. George the platypus. George the platypus is released back into the wild.
Today we're here on the Colo River, where we've actually just released a male platypus back to the wild. When we had a look at him this morning, he appeared brilliant. You know, he's in
Whoa,
great
look
condition.
at him!
What we wanted.
Did you just pick him up by his tail though? Does his tail fall off? These things look ridiculous.
For him was to see him at around about
Yo,
1
Wiggly boy.
to 1.4 kilos, and
He's a chonkus though. They looked it just looks like a big furry sausage now. Doesn't it look like a lizard? It kinda. You didn't know this animal? Well, I kind of roughly knew. I've never. I roughly knew what one was. I'd never like examined a platypus. Does it have teeth then? Has this thing got like gnashers?
right on 1.3, so we're quite happy with that. His tail condition is fantastic, so it demonstrates that he's got some reserves. Straight away when we put him in, he was just demonstrating normal behaviour, which is what we want to see. Obviously for us, we did expect that maybe he might take off straight away, but in fact he just hung around
Oh, he's got like proper webbed feet.
us a little bit.
He's cool.
Felt the waters and then eventually just swum off to the bank where he's hung for the last half an hour. We've released him as early as we can today to give him today.
Hang on, so is this like some baby one or something? Because he looks pretty small. Honey badger next. Well, I think this dude is the culprit of us ending up at platypuses.
Find as many spots as possible that he could potentially hide in. What we want for him is to be able to find deadfall in the river where he can hide in. We've picked a spot
Show me
where and do bring their dogs.
Hey, look at him!
I guess so. One thing that I'd ask.
Oh, they are actually quite cute. They are actually quite cute. I'll give them that. They are actually like this fluff makes them quite. The big nose thing is a bit odd, but.
Is that you try and look after your animals as best as possible. Keep them close on a lead. Platypus can unfortunately fall victim to dog attacks. But I guess also when fishing in areas like this, sometimes yabby traps are used in water bodies like the Colo River. And
see, I know this dude is speaking English, but I can't understand a word he's saying. Something yabby trap or something. We got any native Aussies that can do as a translation?
unfortunately they catch non-target species like the platypus. So obviously trying to pull back on those sorts of practices and remove it completely would be amazing. If you do find one, definitely you want to take it to a wildlife care facility as soon as you can. Wires are great for that. They've got quite a wide reach. Those wires.
All right, well, I wasn't sold on platypus by these pictures, but actually George is pretty cute. We'll give George a pass. Get a live platypus for your neck for the next stream. That will get some views. I'm sure it will get some views. Honey badger versus lion videos are great. Oh God, are we going down a rabbit hole here? I don't think. A honey badger versus a lion? Surely the lion fucks him up, right? What's a honey badger? Nope. What? It's a lion. No. It's a lion. The king of the jungle. How is a badger gonna fuck up a lion? I ferocious little fuck. Really? What's a hunt? Hang on. I'm always sus when you tell me to search for random things. Honey badger. Oh, that's not a badger. Look, this one's even got like straight up evil eyes. It's literally Wolverine. I mean, look at this thing. They're messing about. Right next to it was this one. Fearless honey badger takes on 6 lions. No. Look at the size of it. Alright, sure. Right, let's give this a go. If I get copyright strikes now, it's all your fault.
On a late afternoon game drive, Giles and his guests were enjoying a lion sighting before heading back to their lodge for the...
I knew their reputation, so I knew that things were going to happen. I prepared the guests. I said, just get your cameras out and have a look at this. When they came out of the reeds, the honey badgers literally walked into the middle of the lions. There
He's just chilling.
Lionesses in the pride and 4 subadults. The subadults are...
So they're just...
Their Afrikaans name is Ratel, and it must be from the
noise
that they make.
Oh! It had it, and then it just switched.
It intimidates the lions, I'm sure.
This is just one of the many defense mechanisms these animals have.
I think that...
Why are all of the lions not just on his ass? Why is it a one-on-one? It's a tiddly little badger thing.
Lionesses knew what these things were, and they didn't want to get involved. And the youngsters hadn't had much experience with this, and so they were just playfully going for them and swatting them around a bit. And then it got more serious when the honey badgers started reacting and attacking the youngsters. And then even more so when the lionesses suddenly got involved, and the one lioness severely mauled the one badger. She bit it across the midriff. Here you could see it was sort of in the sand, and her whole mouth pretty much covered most of the honey badgers. The fight itself was...
The honey badger's not messing about though.
Life and death situation for them.
Now you see, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the honey badger fucked him up. I mean, this lion was like not, but it was like playing with its food. I'm not willing to take the. I'm not giving the win to the honey badger on this one. Nah, not happening. That little thing, yeah, I mean, the lioness could have just gone thump, and he's dead. Like, dunzo. It was playing with its food. Honey badger versus male lions? Balls are in... Yeah, alright, no. I'm striking that one up as a win for the Lions, unfortunately. Nope, fake news. Lion is still the king of the jungle. You heard it here first. You guys are just trying to pull my leg now. Not quite sure how we got onto that. My goal per hour is dropping. Yes, like spectral squirrels are taking over. Well, at least it gives an opportunity for the ore to respawn, I suppose. Honey Badger will still get out of that situation. Jungle, yes, we're in Badgerland now. There's badger yards. No messing with badgers in their home turf. Right. Rein it back into something more topical. By the way, Want to Buy Gold posted interesting preview info about herb respawn mechanics on Twitter. Herb respawn mechanics. Was this it? I saw him streaming about, like, he was chilling in Moldraxxus the other day looking at, there's like 3 spawn locations in a triangle that basically hyperspawn or something. Is that what you're talking about? We were fully able to reverse engineer Warcraft devs' design of how mining herbalism works in Shadowlands. Neat little system of nodes, group and force spawn logic. Video of the route goal making soon, and then one where I explain the mechanics. Yay. I saw him looking at that a while ago. Yeah, it's interesting to see that they have iterated on spawn mechanics for these things. Now, there was some talk about... this is all hypothetical. This didn't come out the words of a Blizzard dev, but there was some talk about the fact that they're clustering... that they were clustering some nodes so that they would be attractive to bots. This is almost like the cat and mouse thing. Like, they were making it so that the most optimal way of doing it, you know, would be in one very small area, because Blizzard know that the average player who does herbing and mining doesn't even do this. They don't even follow a route. They just fly around aimlessly, just doing random things. But if they have a small cluster that they make hyperspawn and make it so outrageously optimal to farm those, then what is actually going to happen is all of the bots are going to migrate there. And in theory, then when all the bots migrate there, firstly, they then ban all the bots, and then secondly, they just remove those nodes completely. Just a complete bot bait. And I think they did that in... an example of that is if we go to Moldraxxus, there was a spot round here, I want to say, near the House of the Chosen. There was also another spot up to the east around here somewhere for ore that was basically, there was hyperspawning ore, and it attracted all of the bots to go there, and then out of nowhere all of the bots get banned and the 2 pieces of ore disappear. So I think Blizzard are being a little bit smarter about, maybe they've come to the conclusion that they straight up genuinely just can't get rid of bots. But what they can do is bait all of the bots into being in one very small part of the zone, maybe out of the limelight of everybody else, so that the average player base doesn't come across these bots quite so frequently. And then periodically, just whoever's actively farming there, just ban everybody, and then move the nodes. It's real sort of tinfoil hat stuff. I mean, I'm not even sure go as far as giving Blizzard that much credit, but it seems feasible. There's a spot in Revendreth as well. I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's the case. Hyped after our little Jewelcrafting talk, then I remembered my Jewelcrafter is only friendly with Death's Advance. Gotta get honoured. In fact, no, why do you need to be honoured? Oh, have you already done the campaign? Oh, if you've already done the campaign, you need to be honoured, yeah. It just clicked. I was like, no, just do the campaign, but if you've already done the campaign, yeah. For your Tome of Origins. Yeah, my brain worked it out eventually. You haven't done the campaign on it? Well, just do the campaign then. Oh, but have you done the 9.0 campaign? Because you need to be renowned 44. You need to be renowned 44 to unlock the and you need to have done the 9.0 campaign. To a degree, it's almost, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Either you just do a few daily quests for a few days and get honoured, or you know, zerg it, do all of the 9.0 campaign, and then the 9.1 campaign, and get it without needing reputation. Eternal Crystals at 60 gold apiece, Sacred Shards at 20? Sacred Shards at 20? Hot damn, that's like 7 gold each for soul dust. That's crazy price. Where are all of those shards? Well, I suppose if crystals are 60 gold, yeah, that makes sense. Tomas from part 4 of the Chains of Domination campaign. Yes. But you can only start it if you've completed the 9.0 campaign. There's always a catch. This is Blizzard we're talking about. There's always a catch. I like the fact that there's at least 2 ways you can do it though. I really think that as far as the professions are concerned, they need to build in more choices, more ways you can do things. Sure, I mean, put a pattern behind a rep gate. Do it. No problems with that at all. But also put it somewhere else. If you're going to put it behind a rep gate, maybe also put it on a vendor, on an exotic pattern vendor for 50k. So those that are rich can just buy it for 50k, and those that are not rich can grind the reputation and get it for free. Like, why is there not choice in these things? I've said this for a while now, that the fact that 9 times out of 10 there's only ever one way of doing something makes the game really boring. To get the time you've to complete the Covenant campaign, right? Yes, the tome, yeah. We're running out of spawns. Things are not See, this is the problem with old world farming routes. You can't actually continuously run them. Even with our little pit stop to talk about wildlife for 10 minutes, we're still not getting most things to respawn. Like, our second and third lap of this place has been way less efficient than our first. Don't think you can get the tome from Honoured Death's Advance before doing the 9.0 campaign in the first 4 chapters of the 9.1 campaign. I don't know. It might be either. I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. It wasn't on the vendor before you'd completed the campaign. Yeah, I think it being on the vendor is a catch-up thing. So that if you've done the campaign and missed it the first time, you can still get it. So I think actually, yeah, probably the only way to actually acquire it is to do the campaign. Which would mean you need to have done the 9.0 campaign first. Only if it's before you do the rep grind, I would at least go to the vendor and see if the vendor is listing it. If the vendor is listing it, then sure, do the rep grind. But if the vendor's not got it for sale, you need to do the campaign. It's slowly coming back to me. Right, the efficiency of this route seems to have dropped off a cliff now that we've done the lap a few times. So I think we're probably going to leave it there for today. I think we'll leave it there for today. What's this one? Ah, this is a silly Dreaming Glory. Let's park ourselves up here. Maybe even actually. Where did I set our Hearthstone to? The Great Seal. I have no idea where that is. No idea where that is. Oh well, we'll sell this stuff some other time. I'm going to leave it there for today, boys and girls. I need to not be sat at my computer for a little while, because sitting upright with my neck, even with this dude supporting me, is less than pleasant. So I'm going to love you and leave you for today. For those who are still going to be up and live and awake later on today, I'm on Dirty Irby's stream later today. He's got his weekly trade chat thing. So I'm going to be on that later on today. So I will... have I got a link for his channel? Make sure you go follow him if you're not already. Can I copy link address, maybe? No, that's the wrong one. Apparently I can't. Twitch.tv/DirtyIrby. Go give him a follow. I'll be on his stream late today. We're going to be talking about all things goalmaking. But I'll be back tomorrow, assuming my neck is not giving me too much grief, where we will continue our journey over on the NA of making as much gold as we can, and taking advantage of the ridiculous economy that the NA appears to have. But enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Peace.